My name's Riley, and I'm a student at Ohio Wesleyan University. And today I want to talk a little bit about the waste stream in our dining services at OWU. So for a long time, we had a composting program at Ohio Wesleyan, which was a really great way to divert waste away from the landfill and put it to a second use as dirt. And about a year ago, we found out from the last composting facility that was taking our compost that they were no longer accepting university waste. And so our compost program essentially shut down entirely. So we don't have that anymore. So some students on campus started brainstorming other ways that we could take that waste that we had diverted before and figure out a new way to do that. And so we came up with the idea of a reusable container. And so I have one here. These are the green containers that we have now at Ohio Wesleyan, and we've had them for a couple of months, and they're really great. You take them out with your food. They charge you $5, and then when you return them, they refund that $5, so it's essentially a free program. The problem is not a lot of people are using them, and the people that do want to use them, sometimes they're not always there and available to use, and sometimes you don't have the opportunity to return it right away, and people don't want to carry around a container full of your food waste from the day. And so we need to brainstorm some possible solutions to make this a better system. And so today I'm going to meet with Gene Castelli, who's one of the directors of Chartwells, which is the dining services we use at Ohio Wesleyan, and he's been really great in the past at helping us brainstorm environmental ways that also work with Chartwells in order to make our school more sustainable. And so hopefully he's going to have some great ideas. And then also I'm hoping to meet with a couple of different students, both environmentally minded and maybe not so much, and see what they think about the program. And we'll see how it goes. Hi, Gene.
Hello, Riley.
How are you doing today?
Wonderful.
Good. I just had a couple of questions about the green container program that we've started.
Sure.
So currently the program has been picked up by a lot of environmentally minded students, but a lot of other students are still using the disposable boxes.
Right.
I kind of wanted to ask you, why do you think that is?
I think it's just a choice. It's a little bit through the advertising efforts that we keep raising, and it was a purposeful decision to kind of slow roll this in so we can integrate these new boxes into the whole cleaning process of getting them, picking them up, getting them back into the kitchen, getting them washed, getting them dried, back out on the line, to make sure that my team also we just didn't inundate them. So it's kind of like what we call a soft opening in a restaurant business. We're just met with our student government yesterday to talk about ways to advertise it a little bit better, maybe vis-a-vis the TVs and the menus, several different areas. WCSA, the student government, is fully behind this.
Wonderful.
And I just see it adding on.
Great.
And growing.
Great. Wonderful. So other than the TVs, how do you think that we could better advertise to students who maybe wouldn't think of sustainability as their first priority?
I think it's going to grow into a situation where finding out where students connect. It's not Twitter anymore. It's not Instagram. It's not this. It's that. It's Facebook hasn't been relevant for a while. So it's really trying to find what is that. And word of mouth is strong. Coming from the student body itself is where the real strength lies. That this is a student initiative, and them pushing it will help. Little bits about the TV advertising. We joked about it in our meeting about well, if you put it on a flashy sign, they might notice it because the signs are right there in front of where they pick them up. But people still don't get the program. They still don't understand that they're being charged $5, but they get $5 back. And so I think it's going to be just eventually a culture thing where it's not an education piece. It's what we do. Right now, it's an education piece, and like in any education piece, it takes a inordinately long time to create a habit amongst certain people. There always will be a contingent who just don't care.
That's true.
However, as we talked about yesterday at WCSA, one of the thoughts is if we get to a tipping point, and who knows what that is, whether it's 60, 70%, 80% of the population, but at some point I see us getting to a tipping point where we just say, this is how we do it. We've decided this is how we do it. and then the total elimination of the boxes. As you know, we've talked a lot about things like I said. I'm very leery about taking away choice,
Sure.
free choice.
Sure.
But in that instance, when we get a super majority, I think it's just going to naturally become, well, that's how we do it, and we don't do that anymore. And there'll be grumbling for a year, but in any institution, it's a 3-year amendment.
Right.
And we move on,
Right.
and it's for a good reason. I mean, there's a great outcome to it.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
So hopefully that answers your question in a long-winded way.
Yeah. So currently there are only 2 drop-off locations on campus. And one of the things that a lot of students have asked about when we've brought up why don't they use the green boxes more is that they don't want to carry things back to their dorm rooms and then not have a place to drop it off on residential side of campus. Do you think that we could expect to see more locations on the residential
I would think
side?
so. Down the road, like I said, as we grow into the system and as we figure out the mechanics of getting those out, how many are out at a given time so we don't run out, and we're still just toying with that. Like, do we need to keep 1,000 on hand, 2,000 on hand, 5,000 on hand? That kind of, as we get through this, I think through the first semester we've got to look back, see where we've been, but having multiple drop-offs as I watch the program unfolding is not as daunting or frightening because we've tried it now with once. With Merrick Hall, it's a little, it's an added step, but it's not a big added step. So I think maybe we find this a location like Stye. Maybe Stye. Smith, like for instance, would be a good location because we don't deliver anything to Smith. Smith gets its own food delivers, but Stye goes from Hamwell and they make the food there and they deliver it to Smith. To Stye, I should say. So that could make it. That's what would be one of the things that would make it a great drop-off location is that ability to get that container back within 24 hours, so it's not sitting somewhere just collecting bugs.
Right.
So all those little things.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, and then my last question for you is about, so currently the containers are only for the hot food bar. Do you think that we could expect to see containers for the salad bar and like reusable soup containers in the future as well?
I know the salad bar will take it as a 2-parter. What we're looking to is use the green containers. The challenges right now is that our scales and our registers do not allow for our tear weight, which is basically taking the weight of it. But in a conversation just yesterday with CSA, I said, well, we charge a credit in its essence when somebody brings back a green container. Why can't we program the registers where they credit up the weight, the value of the weight? So when somebody gets a salad and they use a green container and they put it on the scale and the scale says $5.04, they're like, yeah, sure. Now it's another step, which slows things down, but they hit that button and it says, oh, you get a credit of whatever the weight is of this container, 74 cents or something, and it takes it off. Because that was the thing that is preventing us, is not obviously overcharging the students.
Right.
But just yesterday I said, well, maybe we can do that. So we have to, I just want to make sure it works through accounting, through all the, everything else. But that might be a short-term solution to get those to the salad bar. The soup would just take another container and sourcing out. I would prefer to live with this for a good 6 months to a year with these containers, see what the true impact is, see what the impact is on washing, see if there's any sanitation issues, see if there's any kind of issues between how many go out and how many come back. Right now we actually have more on the books coming back than went out, which means a couple of things is happening that's not right, but we're looking into it. So that's why I think it's going to be a good growth system. I think at some point in several years we're going to look back and go, oh, well, did we ever use those containers? The disposable ones? Because we've got these, I think it's just going to be the natural, organic way to go.
Yeah, I think
the short answer is yes on the salad bar. I think if not immediately, very soon. And then the soup is just going to take some time to source a really good container because that would, I would imagine, would be a 2-piece container. And you get I brought back the bottom, but I didn't bring back the lid, and so we're looking into it.
Yeah. Great. I think it's a really great program so far, and I think it's going to divert a lot of waste from the landfill. It's
I want to say about 2,500 containers.
That's incredible.
Have been, in and out, have been used, so that's pretty. There's several cases of the oak. I think maybe 5 cases. I think they're 500 to a case. the biodegradable and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, we keep rocking it. It's constant improvement. That's what we all hope for.
Yeah.
And you've been a big part. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for leading the charge.
Yeah. Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
Hi, I'm here with some of the members of the Environment and Wildlife Club at Ohio Wesleyan, and so I just want to tell them about my proposed solution to the problems that we're having with the green boxes on campus and see what they think and get some insight from them. So right now, I think that there are three main problems with the green boxes. I think that they're not well advertised. There are only the two small signs in the dining hall itself. And so I think that advertising them around campus will make people who maybe wouldn't use them ordinarily more familiar and more comfortable with using them, and answer some questions like the fact that you don't have to clean them out before you have to return them and things like that. The second thing is that we need more return locations. So right now we only have two on campus. We have the one in Hamwell and then the one in Merrick Hall. And so they're the two that are basically both on academic side and none on residential side. And a lot of people want to come back and eat in their dorms or in their houses. And so I think we need at least one more location on residential side. And then the third thing is that you can only use them for the hot bar right now in Hamwell. And we need containers both for the soups, because that's a big option for people, and then also for the salad bar. I know the main concern with the salad bar is that the containers weigh more, but I think, number one, people who are really committed to the program won't mind paying a little bit extra to use the green box, or two, they could put in a system that would actually account for the weight of the box, and it wouldn't cost any more to use it that way. So tell me your thoughts.
Well, my thought, all great ideas. I think that would really improve the program. It would help the way that it's going now and extend it a little, which I think is great. One problem I see with adding more locations is you'd have to find the person who's going to take those back to Hamwell, and that could be added into someone's already existing job or something. But whoever that's going to be, that's a whole other job for them to have to do.
Yeah.
Which comes with some issues. But I think it'd be great to have more locations like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because I think from talking to people, the biggest inconvenience for them is bringing it back.
Mm-hmm.
No one minds using them, and everyone's for using them, but just the bringing it back, which it takes a minute just to stand in line again and then check it back in. But I mean, I've been carrying around one in my backpack for a day now, just because I've checked it out, and then I didn't have. I went to Merrick Hall today and didn't check it in, so that's my fault. But yeah, I think definitely having an option maybe in Thompson store.
Yeah.
Would be.
Yeah, or even an existing Sty Cafe is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because they already have
and that's open
food
at
there.
night too.
Exactly. Yeah.
That'd be a cool one.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely advertising. I mean, the more people that see it, like us using it, more people using it, the more it spreads.
Yeah, for sure.
I think in terms of advertising, next year with freshman orientation, it could be incorporated into that. Because a lot of freshmen don't know about it.
Cool.
Yeah, and going back to expanding the drop-off locations, I think also making a more efficient system because they all do have scanner codes on them. So if we could I've seen some schools, or I've read about some schools that have a drop-off location where as soon as you drop it off, it just automatically scans it. So there doesn't actually have to be a person there. And I think that would be a lot more efficient. You don't have to wait back in line, and that's just one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely expanded my ideas for the program. And I think over time that we could eliminate paper plates and containers entirely in Hamwell, and could be a really great zero waste solution too. Cool. Thanks, guys. Hi, so it's the end of the day today on day 8. You can tell because my hair is more disheveled than it was this morning. And as you can see from the footage that I added to this, I've had a lot of great conversations today. I talked with Jean Castelli about possible solutions to the various problems of the green containers. And then I talked to the Environment Wildlife Club at Ohio Wesleyan about their thoughts, and they had some really great input. And I also talked to some other people who usually don't use the green containers, and they said things like basically confirming my hypothesis that the reason that people don't use them is there's not enough drop-off locations, or it's not convenient enough to return them, things like that, things that Jean and the administration really want to work on, and they want our input. And so I think my next step for it is going to be advertising. I'm going to create posters out of recycled content, out of old pieces of cardboard and things like that, and just try to get people informed. When I see people with a disposable box, I'm going to ask them why they aren't using a reusable one and try to encourage them to do that in the best way possible. Yeah, so I think it's been a really great day. I've thought a lot about my own waste patterns and consumption and how I want to change those. And I'm going to start keeping, a mason jar full of my waste, like Lauren Singer does, and trying to figure out what I need to cut back on by what's in the jar. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and for the opportunity to do this, and have a wonderful night. All right, thanks.